Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today and welcome to my podcast studio. Before we start on today's episode, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say I am truly grateful for you being here. It means the world to me and my guests for us to be able to share our conversation with you. If you do like what we're talking about, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. And if we do talk about something that you either agree or disagree with, please put it in the comments. We would love to hear your feedback. Also, please don't forget, I do a lot more than just podcasts. So every Tuesday, I'll put out a drum playthrough. I'll also documenting my journey on writing my solo album, which will feature a lot of guests that have been on the podcast. I'm also putting up a lot of tips and tricks of stuff that we do talk about in some of the podcasts, like insights that I get from some of the guests that share their journey in the music industry. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And again, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it. What's been happening, Kym?
Single launch for Band of Missfits. We've just released Feeding My Starvation, which you're aware of.
That's right.
We had a big gig on Friday night, which was good. Good night. You know, we had not a bad turnout considering, I guess, the weather and the storms and stuff like that.
The weather was crazy that night.
It was horrible.
I remember driving there, the wipers were just going nuts on the way in, man.
It was horrible. I kind of got caught in it when I was unloading stuff, so that wasn't too much fun. But it was awesome venue, good bands. With 46 Brigade, obviously, and King Proteus and Art of Dysfunction. And it was great. Sold a little bit of merch and had a bit of fun.
And you had your cookies. I never got the chance to get one. No, I didn't.
I should have brought you one. I had 2 left.
I was like, that's like the coolest band merch, man. To do your own cookies.
Yeah, well, I've got a great lady who she buys flowers off me, from my work. For all her birthday cakes and wedding cakes and what have you. And she does cookies for Christmas, Valentine's and Mother's Day, and I just incorporate them in my flower arrangements and whatever. And I said to her, could you somehow get a transfer? And she's like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that. And I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, let's do it. So yeah, we had a few of those made up. I just sent one out to Brendan Carrell. Hey, Brendan.
Hey.
Yesterday with his, he doesn't know yet. I guess he'll know tonight. But yeah, I've put a cookie in there with him. There was a couple left over, so I'm just giving those out to people that have bought shirts. So
yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
And what's so is that literally just you just putting that on top of the pastry?
I didn't do any of it. She just presented it to me, a big box of cookies, and they were already wrapped everything.
Wow.
She's awesome. So
fantastic.
She's really awesome. She does an amazing job with cakes, you name it. So, it was. I just picked it up from a house and it was ready to go. So it's pretty cool.
Well, you never know. There might be a whole new way of doing merch, like have a whole pastry line.
That's right. Yeah. I just thought it was it's a little bit different, and
absolutely.
I guess you got to think outside the box when it comes to things like that a little bit.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, yeah.
So what was the feedback on the cookies?
Yeah, awesome. They taste so good. I've had them before because obviously she supplied me with, Mother's Day, Valentine's. So I've sampled them before, so I know that the quality's like A1. Yeah, everyone's pretty happy with them. So.
And they're good in a rock setting as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fantastic, man.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, it might be cool just to have a little chat about the night because it was a wicked event. Obviously, I was there for obvious reasons.
Yep.
But some cool other acts in there, man. King Proteus and Art of Dysfunction. To me, that was the first time I saw them. They were both very, very amazing in their own very different ways.
Yeah. Yep.
So what was the overall sort of take on the night? Listening, because obviously it was 4 very different bands. Obviously, 46 Brigade is more your, I suppose what you could call more commercial rock sounding. That with the big backtrack and stuff. Then King Proteus, which is how would you define that? Theatrical,
I don't know.
Almost.
Right, a fusion band. I guess that there was reggae, there was jazz, there was hard rock in there. I guess they cross kind of all genres. It's really hard to pigeonhole them, I guess, into one genre. I really liked it. I said to him, I feel like you guys were like a breath of fresh air. You were just completely different to the other bands, but they're a standout in their own right. So I really enjoyed it. That was the first time I'd seen them as well. So, and Art of Dysfunction, we played with them a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or even 3 years ago, and that was at the Leederville Oval with the Silent Deeds.
Right.
Yeah, and they were great back then. They were, standout bands, so they're only getting better, and they're playing plenty of shows I see lately. So
yeah, I was really blown away, especially by the fact that I think the lead guitarist played straight out of the amp. He had like a tune and an EQ pedal from what I could gather.
Yeah.
I thought that's as rock as it gets. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, super awesome band, man.
Yeah,
and
so.
really cool night. Again, it was a really good vibe. Everybody seemed to be in a really good
it's just
mood.
Such a cool venue too. It's so cozy and just, after being out in the storm and then coming underground, and it was just, and the ambience, we had all the tea light candles, and once the lights went down, all the candles were lit, and just had a really nice overall feel to it. So it was really cool.
Yeah, now you're saying that, it actually really suited the vibe.
Yeah, I thought so.
Night.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, like there was absolutely no phone reception.
Oh, really?
Not on my phone anyway, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I went down there and it's like, I haven't had any messages for a long time. And looked, that's why. So,
That's strange,
completely underground.
Yeah.
But, no, awesome night. And what about, so you released that single that day, wasn't it? Like in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that came out. So I was pretty excited because I got up at 4:30 in the morning to run exercise class. And as soon as I was out, it was like the first thing I did. As soon as my alarm went off, I was like, is it on? Is it on?
Yeah,
there's always that, that I guess that anxiety of, oh, shit, what if something happens and it doesn't get released on that day when it's supposed to, or, but it was all good. So, yeah.
And how's so that's now, what's it, a week and a half ago now? Something? Yeah. So, and how's the response been so far?
So far, really good, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I've had a few interviews from a few different people. Had an interview with Roscoe a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And yeah, those guys really, really liked it. And yeah, everyone that I've spoken to so far that's heard it's been had a pretty positive.
It's great. Like it's a lot harder than, especially like the choruses have got a lot more like angriness almost. Like it's a lot more.
A lot of frustration in that song. I guess. Yeah. So I guess it shows. And I didn't play guitar on that. So Crickets and Feeding My Starvation went into a recording studio. I'm not a guitarist. I just know enough to get by.
Yeah.
So, Jake's a guitarist, so I said, just do your thing,
Yeah, we can.
So, he had pretty free reign, I don't have any specific, as long as the melody's the same and the melody's not changed, I don't really have any input when it comes to anything that I've specifically written, so we're pretty stoked with how it came out as well. So
we can. But you also you put out a couple of singles now. Is there any plans of maybe consolidating them into creating an album or something?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a few years now, but I guess we should. We've still got another song to release that we recorded last year, which we don't even really play live.
Not yet.
But normally, I write a song, I bring it to the band. We might play that song in gigs, before it's released. Most of the time we do anyway.
Yeah.
So
just to test the waters.
This one we haven't. Yeah, I don't know. We got to work on it. I think most of the guys have forgotten how the song even goes. Like it's been that long since we've played it as a band.
Right. So wait. So you've recorded, but you've never played.
Never played it live.
Oh, right.
So.
Right. That's cool though.
Yeah. It's got more of a kind of Pink Floydy kind of feel to it, and it's different.
Very cool.
But it's a cool song.
Very cool. So you have to watch this space. And,
yeah.
Any sort of rough timeline for when that might hit the streets?
I'm not sure. It's yet to be mastered.
Right.
As a week turnover, maybe 2 weeks. So.
So depending on how many changes that's something you can do sort of relatively quick.
But we're pretty happy with the mix, I think. I don't think there's anything really we're going to change in the mix. Jake redid a few guitar bits, but I think we're pretty happy with it to put it out the way it is. So we'll just get it mastered, and I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of months.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we'll have to wait and see then.
That's right.
Yeah. And what about so would you have would you have enough to put everything together on like an overall like concept, either concept EP or an album, or what's your?
Yeah, I guess we could. Well, we've put out 2 EPs, and 2 singles. So we've definitely got enough songs. We're starting to play a bit more stuff off our first album, which we kind of we were always kind of heading towards a heavier kind of style of music. And when we got Jake on board, I guess we were able to make that happen. So we don't really play too much from the first album, although the songs on the first album are still great songs and they're really, really catchy. They're just more pop rock. You know, they're not as heavy anyway. So we're starting to revisit those. You know, there's a couple of songs that we've brought out from the first album, which we are going to start playing again. So,
well, I suppose you could spice them up a little bit, especially like if you're saying it like after Jake joined, you know, if he adds a little bit of the extra spice to it,
that's
you know,
right.
like you could do them in a more, you know, powerful or more a slight different format, especially when you're playing them live.
Definitely.
That's always cool, you know, as an audience to come and get like a slightly different format or get like the live version.
Yeah, we've already changed Oceans. Paul's changed the drums slightly to the way he was playing it originally, so it's a lot more heavier drum-wise through the bridge section there into the last chorus. So, like I said, the guys have got free reign on the songs, really. I don't say you have to play them like this.
Yeah.
But, you know, we stick to the melody and you know, if the lead, you know, guitar changes from one gig to the next, it's fine, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's exciting to see what's going to happen, man.
Yeah. So,
but also I could understand. Well, obviously I know that already, but I know you're working on some solo stuff as well.
Yeah. So I'm doing a single at the moment with Tommy Denander, who you're obviously familiar with, who's a Swedish-based producer and guitarist, and he's going to be working on a song I wrote and released on a solo album about 6 years ago now. And it's always been a favourite song. It's close to my heart. Obviously, it's about my brother and suicide and stuff.
Yep.
And I never had any PR on that song. When I released the solo album, there's 5 tracks on it. No one, apart from friends and family, ever heard that song. You know, there's a lot of people that wouldn't even know I had a solo album out. So, and I think there's a couple of really, really good songs on that EP that deserve to be revisited. And this was one of them. So I wanted a really dramatic feel. So I've sent it off to Tommy, and I'm waiting for a few different, you know, guitars and things to come back from his side. So really looking forward to see what he does with it. It's already sounding like pretty dramatic with what he's put in the way of keys and
it's like vastly different to the original.
Definitely,
for sure. But I suppose that was the whole idea.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited to hear what comes back.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So yeah.
And so the plan is to keep doing some more solo stuff as well?
Yeah. I've got quite a few songs in the bank that I've done just very basic recordings of.
Yep.
Which I think there's some of them that are quite good and that they should be revisited and re-recorded properly. So yeah.
Yeah, because like the whole, as you said, like the solo EP that you did, there's a lot of really strong songs on there.
Yeah.
But obviously, I suppose, you wouldn't need to recycle all of them. I suppose you got some new stuff as well. Yeah,
that's right. Yep.
Coming up.
Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas for new songs floating around my head at the moment for the last couple of weeks, which is good.
Yeah.
As, there's always dry spells in inspiration and you know what's coming in and so it's nice to have some fresh material to get excited about. So
yeah. So have you got any good topics that's come up recently that'd be good to write about or?
Yeah, I guess you'll have to wait and see.
Yes, fair enough.
I don't want to delve too much into it right now, but the one in particular I think could work quite well. So yeah, you'll have to watch this space.
To wait and see.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
And so how are you finding it? Obviously, having to do. I suppose you haven't pushed it too hard now, but like to have to do like the solo career and Band of Misfits, like so when you have to push two brands at the same time, have you got any specific ideas of how to sort of like start like branching out? Are you reaching two different audiences, or what's your overall sort of
I guess I'm hoping that I could still hit the same audience, but there's a lot of people. I mean, it depends. I guess it depends on the overall result of what comes out of the solo stuff, but there's a lot of people that really loved the first EP that we put out as Band of Misfits. It was like I said, it was more pop rock, and there was a lot of that would hit a bit more of an older generation, more so than a younger demographic, I guess. So with my solo stuff, that I'm hoping that would also hit the older generation as well as the younger as well. So I guess we'll kind of wait and see, but I guess it's not until I'll get the response of what people think with the next solos, what's left behind, that will determine, I guess, where to put the market, where to put the money into what demographic. Yeah. So.
Because it is a bit of like a slippery slope or a sort of tricky path, like to like all that sort of like the marketing thing, which I know that we obviously have we had quite a few. Like we had some of the Zoom calls as well, where we discussed some of that as well. But like the whole marketing aspect and all that stuff is usually where it can get sort of really tricky, sort of to try and find like the best way to push it out there and stuff. I suppose it's one of the things. It's where like at the end of the day, you've got to do a little bit of trial and error, and find out what works and stuff. But man, like I'm super excited to hear how that song is gonna pan out. And again, like especially because again, to you it'll almost be it'll be like a brand new song, pretty much.
Yeah, that's right.
So moving forward, like in regards to some of the other solo stuff as well, have you got any different formats or any ideas of how to record those? Because obviously, like using Tommy is like almost like a one-stop shop, pretty much. Like he can lay it with whatever you need. Were you thinking about doing something with some local people as well, or were you planning on outsourcing more of it as well?
I've always used Sean Lillico from Yelling Up for most of our stuff, but I guess that it would determine too what Tommy brings back on this song. So if I'm super happy with it, I'd be happy to use him again for future releases if he's happy to jump on board and do that. However, there's a lot of really, really good local, Jay for one. I could always head down to Yelling Up and do some recordings with Sean, not a problem. So there's plenty of local people that are really, really good as well. So I guess it just depends. It all comes down to affordability too. But it depends. Like Tommy's being a one-stop shop is kind of like working quite well with this release. So I guess the end result will pretty much determine where I'm going to go. But I have no problems using local producers. That's.
Well, I'd love to hear a bit more about like how your work process has been working with Sean as well, because like like you've used him multiple times, so it must be working quite well.
Yeah. So in 2012, I put out a song called "Forget You" on the sounds of Tom Price, and Sean was actually the first time I met him was on this project. So I got a phone call from a friend that worked at the Tom Price Shire, and she said we've got the Nameless Festival, which is a big festival once a year coming up. And we've got this guy called Nigel from Wham, Nigel Bird, and he's going to come up with his production team, and we want people that are musicians to get together, write songs, and we're going to do a collaboration album. And she said, I heard you used to sing. And I said, yeah, I did. I said, and I've only just picked up the guitar again after many years of not playing. So all the musicians in town pretty much met up at this house. The house was decked out with all the sound gear. They had a drum room, they had a vocal room, they utilised the whole house, which I think was a Rio Tinto mining house that they'd put up. They'd put money into it. So And Sean, he played a bit of guitar on that song, a little bit of flamenco guitar, and he was like one of the producers. And I just got a really good feeling from him. He's a lovely guy, and just really professional. And when I moved down to Perth, I hit him up and said, look, I want to do a solo album. By then I'd written 4 or 5 songs, and booked it in. And he's amazing. He plays every instrument. So I just played guitar, did my vocal takes, did all my harmonies, and he pretty much did everything else on my solo album. He played every other instrument. He got the Hammond. He's got a beautiful Hammond organ, So he knows my sound and has for years.
Yep.
And he just knows what sounds good, and he doesn't muck around. You're in there to do a job, and it could take 9 or 10 hours, and that's fine. I'm prepared to put in the hours to get a good result. I'm not there from 9 till 3 and that's it. And I would stay down there with him anyway. So and stay down there the weekend, and then wake up the next morning and do it all over again. So it's a little bit of a holiday away from home as well. It's a couple of days where I just get to go and do my thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Which is pretty cool. And we just work really well together.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy to go down and, use him again to produce some more stuff. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's was that also where you recorded the Band of Misfits?
Yes, I did my solo album with Sean.
Yep.
And all of our Band of Misfits stuff.
Nice.
So and the guys are great. And last year when we recorded Crickets and Starvation and the other song we haven't released yet.
Yeah.
And we did a live version of Jolene as well, which we yet to release. But the guy, even Jake said, he's a really good guy, and I like that he's so methodical, and we get in there and we get it done. We're not mucking around. He knows what he wants. He said it's the first time I've plugged my guitar into an amp and it sounded good straight away. He's got all the good amps. He just knows what works. He does live recordings. He does a lot of live events down south as well, Marg River and what have you. And he plays in jazz bands down there, so he's pretty, a really, really good overall musician. So he's got a good ear.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And so everything's just run out of his home studio?
His home, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some really, really good gear, and he just can get a really, really good, massive sounding production, out of a home studio. But he knows how to set things up properly, and
I was about to say,
years and years of doing live sound and what have you, and recordings. He just knows what sounds good straight up.
Yeah.
He's got the best mics and best amps and everything. So,
but it's funny, like you see that more and more these days, like people that actually know how to record really well at home.
Yeah.
By finding out the room acoustics, the right mics, and just getting the gear that works for them.
I feel really left behind in the way that I haven't really explored too much of that. I've done collaborations with people overseas over the years through SoundCloud, but that's just using my Mac, like very, very basic.
Yeah.
I didn't have any proper interface or anything, so.
But obviously, there's a massive difference between like recording vocals or doing like a full band with drums and everything. But I suppose it's also one of the things, like, is it something you have, like, is it something you need? Because again, if it is something that is important, then it's something you not you but people in general could look into.
Yeah.
But sort of like the whole home studio thing just seems to be booming. Like you see more and more people sort of finding out ways to sort of track it home and stuff.
I think because, I don't want to say the word, but, because there's so many events being cancelled because of bloody COVID, especially in Sydney, there's probably a hell of a lot more,
you'd think so,
home studios going on at the moment, more so because people still want to record, they still want to get music out.
Yep.
And if they can do it from home, then why not? You've got all the time in the world. It's all trial and error if you've never done it before. So it's not you've got a time schedule. If you're stuck at home in lockdown,
But everything that's brand new you got to learn is going to be it's going to be daunting and overwhelming. It's funny. It reminds me of something. I spoke to an audio engineer from the Philippines a couple of months ago. So I had him on the podcast as well, and he said that after they had started to have lockdowns in the Philippines, he literally started selling home studio gear online, and he said it's been really good because he said I already had an audio channel, so I already had an audience, and now I just said, look, you can actually buy this gear, but if you buy it from me, you help me out as well.
Yeah.
So he just started doing that.
Good on him.
And so that's again another thing, where you sort of start to think a bit more outside the box, trying to use the circumstances to your advantage.
Yeah.
So again, but yeah, it's a perfect example, again, if you are sitting at home as a band, you can't go out and play, but you still want to create, then why don't you just, learn how to create at home?
Yep.
Because it's something that'll benefit you for the long run. By the time you know that, you can perfect it over time and get better and better at it. But at least you're using your time productively.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, same as anything else, it takes time and it takes commitment.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, at the same time, it's not hard either. It just requires you to just want to learn it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I would say probably most people, especially if they are a little bit IT savvy to begin with, like I said, if you already recorded in the past, you could probably learn it in a week.
Yeah.
Like a couple of good sessions where you sit down, and you spend a couple of hours and really just learn how to move some stuff around, and because it's not hard. It's just, but obviously
it's just time. Yeah.
Exactly, and you just get better as you the more you do it.
Yeah, I used Reaper and what's the other one? There was another
recording interface.
Reaper was the main one, but that's
Reaper's I
didn't know what the hell I was doing. I don't even use GarageBand. Apparently that's the easiest thing in the world to use, but I still haven't sat down and worked out how to use it. But I brought up Reaper, and that took me a while. And even now when I get on, there's still little glitches that I go, oh shit, how do I do that? And it's just Googling and just speaking to other people that use it to try and work out how to nut it out properly. But
the really, really cool thing about Reaper is that it's open source. So there's this massive community of people that would just if there is something, this would be really cool if it could do this, someone would just write a code and bang, here you go, here's an update or a plugin. And, and it does that. But there's so much support on Reaper.
Yeah.
And again, it's not free. It's $69, I think it is for a two major upgrades or something. But at the end of it, Reaper does the same as most other recording software. It's just a different interface, and But again, it records audio, and you can use all the same plugins as you can if you're using Pro Tools or Logic or any of the more sort of industry standard ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, at the end of the day, just get it. If it's something you need, something you want to do at home. I suppose in your case, it might work out well if you're planning on doing solo solo stuff. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
You could do at least you could do some really good demos on it, so you can get comfortable with what you want to do, and then I was about to say worst case, but if you then want to go into like Sean or here or a real studio and use some better mics or whatever it is, then you come prepared.
Yeah.
And you can also show them, this is what I had in mind. Oh, yeah, okay, excellent.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot easier to explain when they get to listen to it.
Exactly. You literally have something, so this is what I want. You have a very, very professional sounding template or product or demo.
Yeah. Definitely.
But, anyway. Got to put time aside for that as well, I suppose,
That's right. It's just another thing. There's lots of things happening, so...
Yeah, and I was you're a single mom, you got a flower shop as well, and your own business.
Yep. I'm up at 4:30 every day, and then I run exercise classes 3 times a week at 5 a.m. at the park as well, in Chidlow.
Oh, shit, so you run them?
I run them.
Oh, wow.
And, it sucks, because yesterday no one turned up, so I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning, get down there, waiting. No one's told me that they're not going to turn up, so I knew that there was 3 people that weren't turning up, but one of them is a teacher, and I had a feeling that he might not be there, but I thought, no, he's pretty dedicated, he'll be there. No. So I waited till about 10 past and then went home. I'm not going to work out in the dark by myself. It was foggy, it was dark, it was cold,
Shit.
So it's a bit eerie. I'm not going to just work out by myself.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go for a run at 6:30 when it's a little bit lighter or something instead.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit busy. So,
absolutely, man.
Yeah, got a lot going on.
Well, that's good.
So
it's good to be busy.
Yeah.
Fill out the calendar.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's not, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I like to free up my weekends when I've got the kids, you know, when they're with their dad. That's fine. I can do whatever.
Yeah.
Book myself out for gigs or what have you. But when it's my time, I do want to spend that whole weekend with them. So
of course,
you know,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, it must be tricky to sort of actually get everything sort of slotted
I don't know.
in there.
Sometimes I go, shit, how did I even get that done? You know, I got, you know, my daughter's got tutoring on Mondays. She's got dancing on Tuesdays. My son's got basketball training Mondays or Thursdays. We've got games on Friday nights, you know, plus just work stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just get it done. I guess you just have to.
And are they doing anything like music wise?
My son was drumming for a few years, and he was a really, really good drummer. And he was playing trombone with school as well.
Oh, cool.
But he dropped out of that. He just like, Mum, I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to play basketball. I'm like, no, he's really good. He gets music. You know, I can show him something on guitar or bass, and he picks it up straight away. So he's got it in him, and I hope that one day he does come back to it. You know, as a kid, you know, I did dancing, I did gymnastics, I always sung. Yeah. But I always just sung in my bedroom. I went to the sound centre to get singing lessons once for like 6 months. That's back when it was on Walter Road. I think it's Walter Road, yeah. And that was about it. I always sung, but I did gymnastics, I did karate, I did dancing, you know, I did tap dancing, and Mum put me into, you know, jazz, all sorts. We did so many sports as kids, but they chop and change, you know. We were like, oh, we don't want to do that now. Can we do softball? Or we don't want to do that now. Can we do something else? So I guess, yeah. My daughter's pretty hell-bent on dancing at the moment, so that's her little thing.
Well, that's still sort of like musical, you know, like
she sings
got the rhythm and
she does sing a lot. Even from a young age, she reminds me of me. You know, I'd be like, she'd be 3 and she'd be singing about dolphins in the bedroom, and I'd get my phone and I'd be recording her, and she'd be singing about, you know, the beautiful dolphins and, you know, whatever. She would just make up songs, which is what I used to do when I was her age. So it's quite funny when I hear her singing, making up little stories. And lately she's been on, she's got some app on the iPad, and she's been singing along to songs, so that's kind of cool.
Well, it's a funny thing about music. It's one of the things, especially, you know, as a singer, if you do sing along and you do bits and pieces, some of the stuff like can stay with you forever, even though it might not be something that you do progress any further. But again, like about your son as well, I said it could easily come back if it is something, you know, like it's because it's something that if it triggers your attention or your interest, which as you mentioned as well, like it goes up and down when you're a kid. Yeah. Then you never know. It might.
I hope so. I've still got his Pearl studio kit set up in the living room in the hope that he might just jump on it, but it's not happened yet. So he's just at the moment just living and breathing basketball. That's all he wants to do. So I'll just let him have that. I'm not, you know, push him into music. If he doesn't want to do it, I don't want him to hate music because I force him into it. But I know he's got a natural talent. He's got a good ear. He picked up some song that he was listening to and just, you know, jumped on the keyboard, and within half an hour he'd already learned it just by listening, you know, just by playing by ear. So he's got it in him. So I'm hoping that one day he might go, I want to get back into it. So.
Well, we tried to do the same. Like we tried to put my older son into keyboard lessons, and he was like, "Nah, just played around and joked around. Didn't really want to do it." And I was the same when I was a kid. Like I didn't want to play keyboard either.
Yeah, me too. I did piano. Yep.
And then one day, you know, stumbled across the drums and bang. Yeah. You know, it was like, this is cool. Yeah. I was 14, so again, it's you know, that's fairly late as well, I suppose.
I don't know.
That's
still quite young, but yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, because like sometimes you see these, like especially now where you've got YouTube and stuff, you see these kids that are like 10
I know.
Bullshit,
I know.
man. Like,
look at Jaden Tedescory.
Who?
Guitar prodigy, plays with Hell's Bells. Like, incredible. Absolutely incredible. I think he's 12 now, but he started when he was really young. His parents handed him a guitar and he was just all over it, you know, and he's got so many views on YouTube and stuff. He's a Perth kid.
Yeah. Oh, is that? Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Dresses up, full schoolboy outfit, and plays a fair bit with Hell's Bells, and he's just incredible to watch at such a young age. But there's heaps. There's that Nandy girl as well who's had a drum off with Dave Grohl. You know,
Oh,
she's an amazing
yeah,
drummer.
yeah.
She's a singer.
But
She plays bass. She plays
now.
everything.
She
I know.
plays everything
I know.
now. It's
I
like,
just-
what?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you see them, you go like, yeah, I haven't practiced enough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I think that too.
But it's also one of those things where you just gotta. I think something that I've personally that I've come to a realization about drumming is I know what I'm sort of fairly confident at, so I'll just stick to that.
Yeah,
because
same,
again I've got no desire to go out and be someone who's really big on playing 100 instruments and being like an absolute expert at just one thing. But at the same time it's so interesting to see those people that are so incredibly good.
Yep.
From a drumming perspective, there's a new guy out at the moment who's probably got the fastest technique I've ever seen, and he's everywhere in drum forums and stuff.
Yeah,
And when you see him, it's go how did you develop a technique that fast? Literally, he can move just his wrist with his drumstick. He can move it you cannot see the drumstick move because it moves that fast. It's nuts. When you say, and it's so precise as well. It's not just fast, but also actually in time and stuff.
Yeah.
And hats off to those people, but they must spend so many hours.
Yeah, he's obviously wants to learn everything he can about it.
And well done. And yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. And
Is he young?
no, he's probably, I don't know, guessing mid-30s.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yep.
But I suppose, you could probably see someone who's 15 who could do that too these days. You know what I mean? Because it's literally as though. So if it's something you want to learn, compared to when you and I were younger, we didn't have YouTube. If something you want to learn now, you can learn it and get so much.
Yeah. It's
so
my
much from
go-to
YouTube.
a lot.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do a bit of a duo with Jake as well. Just covers, just 3 hours covers, and there's a fair bit of guitar and bass I'll be playing on a few of those songs, so YouTube's definitely my go-to.
Because
it's too easy to chuck it on the TV, and it's
there's always
it's pretty easy to follow.
Yeah, there's always someone who can teach you to play
and
that song.
Some really, really good teachers on there.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
So
But that's now become their business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're good on there and you put out some good niche content there, and some of those guys are extremely good at that. At running it as a business.
Yeah.
And that's again pretty much any industry, anything you can think of.
That's right.
You can go on YouTube. It's not just music. It's literally
it's everything.
Anything.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. That's all. You don't really need normal TV anymore because it's literally you can even watch the news.
Yeah.
If that's what you're into.
Yeah. My son's on there 24/7, just looking up basketball and basketballers.
Of course.
Latest games, and then he goes outside and he plays out there for 15, half an hour, and then he'll come back in and he'll be on his phone looking at some more tricks, and he'll go out and he'll be trying to practice.
Of course, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, of course they would have like basketball techniques and training exercises and stuff.
We've even got my dog on there. She's got her own channel. She plays soccer and
really?
She's a bit of a character, yeah. So
fantastic.
Yeah, Coco soccer dog.
Yeah. As opposed to you can just say for people who actually got
she's asleep.
Sleeping over here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she's a pretty good girl. She's the baby of the family. Definitely gets treated like one.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
there's another thing I've written down that I think we should have a little chat about. If I say podcast, tell me a bit about that.
Okay, so for a few years now, I'm always interested in music docos, and it's not the live stuff. It's all the behind the scenes and mainly about the songs that I want to know about. As a songwriter, I'm really interested to know the motivation behind some of the lyrics to some songs, and there's not too many interviews on YouTube or anywhere really that really delve into it at length, and certainly not in Perth. So it's been something that's been in the back of my mind to do for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And I've just with a bit of kick up the bum and motivation from you and a few others. I've just decided to. That's it. I'm gonna do that as a little side project.
Wicked.
Just to satisfy my own need. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. So I'm just going to be interviewing artists from Perth, including yourself, finding out what's the motivation behind those lyrics. Why did you write that song? How did you feel at the time? Asking them about song process. I'm really interested in, if they write the lyrics first or the music comes first. That's, I'm always interested in behind the scenes. So that's something that's going to happen very, very soon. So, yeah. I'm pretty
That's
interested
fantastic.
in that.
Yeah, and when you brought up the idea the first time, I was like, that is really cool.
Yeah.
And that is something especially that sort of how you piece a song together and the story behind it. Yeah, it's something I think a lot of people will find interesting.
Right. And there's so many, even some Perth artists that I've asked about their lyrics. I was like, I love this song. When this came out, I was going through this, and and why did you write it? And I'm just so interested about it. So, and they're like, wow, you're asking me about my lyrics. Like, they were shocked that I would even want them to delve into it, and that I would even be interested. And I was like, how could I not be? This song's amazing, and as soon as I heard it, I was connected to it. So it's just something that there's a lot of different podcasts out there, but I find that this is something that is maybe lacking in the way of music podcasts. There's a hell of a lot of interviews with artists about songs and what have you, but not about the mechanics of when it was written. So yeah.
But there's also I forgot what I was about to say now. I don't know, like completely blank. It was about the it was about the lyrics in general. Like it's something I bring up so often as well. Like the fact that hardly anyone focuses on the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like you can put out all these songs and you listen to the song and say, this is a great song, but you never find out. Like I don't even think people even bother putting the lyrics into, like if you watch the video on YouTube, for instance, like you could literally just put the lyrics in the description. Yeah. Or you could put out a lyric video.
Yeah.
And that would give at least people like me a completely different version of, or a completely different insight to what the song is about.
Sometimes you'll have an idea of what you think it's about, and then you find out what it's about, and it's completely the opposite.
Well, sometimes you might not even understand. Like for instance, if it's metal, like if they're screaming and stuff, you might not even know what they're singing, but you just like the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This sounds wicked.
Yeah.
But when you have the lyrics presented to you in a lyric video, or if you can literally, scroll down and you can sit and you can read them as you listen to the song, I love that.
Same. That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up, learning songs to...
from album covers, right?
Yeah, learning songs.
Yeah.
If it wasn't there, then I would hate that. To open up a new cassette, for Christmas, and there was no lyrics, I was just devastated, which didn't happen very often, but sometimes there were no lyrics. So I'd have to sit there on my rewind button and my play button and just try and listen and hope that I have the right lyrics down. That I, sometimes later on in life you go, oh shit, I was singing the completely wrong lyrics.
Yes.
But
lyrics.
But that was the best thing. My auntie was like, she'd always be like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? And I'd be like, can you just get me this tape? It was summer of 89 or whatever it was when I was a kid, and that's the first thing I did. And I was like, I knew already what songs were on it before I even had it in my hand, and that's the first thing. I would lock myself in my room and I would just 6 hours of singing, and perfecting those songs. So, I hate listening to a song without the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because I've always listened to a song with the lyrics, so I've got an interpretation of it right there. It's right in front of me. So it's the same. Even if I hear my mates' bands, I really wish that I had the lyrics. So this is a good way of finding out exactly what they're about. There's some songs of some of the people that I want to interview, and I think I have a fair idea about those songs. But, I will definitely know once I've been in for an interview. So yeah.
No, it's wicked.
Yeah,
it's exciting. It's wicked. Yeah, no, I love it. Like it sounds like something that would be super. It's something I would find personally anyway. Would find super interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, like again, it's something that be again super easy for you to do with people outside Perth as well. Like you could do it. You could very easily just do that
over the limit, you know,
over Zoom or
that's right,
or webcam, FaceTime or something.
There's plenty of people I'll hit up that aren't in Perth as well. But I'll start with some of my mates' bands and go from there.
Yep.
So
no, that's the way. Sounds awesome.
Yep.
Just a little crazy thought. I thought when you brought up cassettes, I remember, you know, when you had those original cassettes, and yeah, when you folded them out, like the lyrics were so tiny though,
yeah.
it was nearly impossible to read. So,
I had good eyesight back then.
Yeah. But
so much now,
but yeah, I mean, like lyrics, yeah, like it's such an underrated part of a song, and it's so like that is essentially like the soul of the song, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about the lyrics.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, obviously, a good melody, you can't go past a good melody, but...
No, but again, it's like the full package.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if you have...
You want to hear the story behind you know, the music too.
Absolutely, man. No, I love it. It. So, I suppose, like, before we round off or something, I'm curious to sort of hear if you have any sort of, like, goals for maybe the next 6 to 12 months in music in general.
Yeah, so... I guess my priority for the next 6 months would be my solo song.
Yep.
So I'm dying to get the guitars and stuff back from that, so then I can start putting some vocals down and getting that done. I would really love that to be released before Christmas, which is definitely doable.
Oh, absolutely.
So I guess putting that one out, you know, that's probably one of my biggest songs I've ever written. So I'd be focused mainly on doing the PR for that and getting that down perfect. Yep. So I did my own PR for Feeding My Starvation. And there's a lot of work involved in it. It's not easy. You've got to have a lot of good contacts, and there's a lot of follow-up as well, which is a little bit hard. I'm finding a little bit of a struggle when I've got 6 days of having a shop and then kids and everything else. So yeah. It's hard to fit that in. So that has to be more of a priority, I think, to get it out to the right ears, and hopefully it gets a lot of hits and everyone loves it and keeps playing it. Yep. And buying it.
It's like from what I heard of it now, yeah, it sounds very promising. Yeah. It's definitely like vastly different expression than the previous one, and the original one again is great. Like it's perfect. Like it's like it really has that sort of atmosphere of the song as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But so this is just like a remix or brand, like a 2021 version.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And like I said, I never had any PR on that song, and no one really heard it. So I want to make it as good as it can possibly be, and really get it out to the right ears. Yeah. And hopefully get as many listens as possible for it. Yeah. So that's mainly my focus for the rest of the year, and also my podcast. I've got to get that off and running. So I'm looking at booking in dates very, very soon. Yep. And get that off the ground as soon as possible. So that's going to be
got to help you get that set
pretty
up.
Fun. Yeah, definitely. So that's going to be called Life Behind Lyrics.
Life
Behind Lyrics.
Life Behind Lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
So they're the two main focused things musically. And we also do have another release for Band of Missfits, but again, I'm not quite sure. We haven't quite set a date on that yet. Need to probably go in and relearn the song a little bit and just fine tune it. So there's a few things on. The list.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. And so the podcast, will that be released under your name, or are you going to do like a new page or something?
It'll probably be just a new thing. Okay. Completely. So new page. Set it up as Life Behind Lyrics. Yep. So it's exciting. I get to like fine tune all that sort of things. So
just. I suppose the only thing to that is it just means you have one more page to.
I know. I have so many
to admin.
It's so hard. I've got my personal. I've got Band of Missfits. I've got Kym Redmond Music. I've got Sense of Style Florist and Glen Forest Florist, and I also started up. There was a Lost Perth Pets, and I thought, God, how big is Perth? This is stupid. We need one localised to where I live. So I started up a Hills Lost and Found for dogs and cats, which is more localised to the Mundaring Shire.
Right. Okay.
But I try and just handball that because there's certain things, I started up and we've got that now, which I can kind of handball that. I don't need to run that anymore.
I was about to say, that sounds like something that would be pretty community run.
That wants to just take over, then that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just one less thing I have to do. It's really hard to post on so many social medias. I find I haven't posted anything on about my shop for 2 weeks. That's my main income stream.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of priority at the moment too. I need to kind of put in a bit of a schedule and work out which social media page is going to get the attention on this day or that day, and kind of schedule it in, because I find that some there's not many posts on some of those pages or regularly enough anyway. So
couldn't you start targeting musicians and saying like I don't know if there's other musicians who's got a flower shop in Perth, but why don't you be the leading flower shop for musicians in Perth?
Yeah,
musicians are buying flowers for their partners too, I would hope.
That's right. Well, I would hope so too. Yeah.
So like they might as well order it from you, or go and buy it from you.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
But and that way you could start tying in some of your music to your flower shop and vice versa. Yeah,
I do some cross promotions.
Yeah.
Whenever I release a single for Band of Missfits or myself, I always put that on my Sense of Style page, because that hits all the local area of Glen Forest and beyond.
Yeah.
Mundaring. So I know quite a few people. So, and a lot of them know that I'm in bands and I play music and write music and stuff. So.
Yeah.
And it's just another demographic, hopefully I can bring some of those fans over to the music side of things as well.
Absolutely.
So, I try and do that occasionally.
That would be, that would actually be something I could see would be, like, it would work really well locally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it is a local shop, and it would
a regular clientele that get to know me on a personal level. So sometimes and I go, I've got a new song we're releasing, and they'll be like, well, I didn't know you were in a band, and I was like, oh, well, actually, I do this and I do this.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, well, okay, we might come and check you out. So
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It's another platform, and it's a platform in another industry, which it sort of singles you out. So it could even give you that little bit of like a uniqueness or like an X factor to it.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely some potential that could be brought in to try and promote your music. Yeah. And again, also for you, if you're saying it's your main income, the flowers, like get the flowers over to the other side. Like tell all the musicians, say, I got flower shops. Yeah. If you need something for Mother's Day or Father's Day as well, I don't know. But, birthdays or events, weddings, funerals, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I should know.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there.
You must.
I must. Yeah. So no, it's good. I've actually got a lady coming in who is part of my exercise group, and she did a video for my Hills Community Exercise group that I run 3 times a week, and she did a video, and it was a little bit of I guess a little bit of a piss take. The beginning of it was like filmed like the beginning of MASH. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
So helicopters in the background, and it was quite comical at the beginning. Yeah, but she had High Passage playing on that, which was cool. And then we've got I've actually got her coming into my flower shop on Thursday, and she's going to do a video of what we do, what we offer, so services we offer, and film the shop and film us. And that's going to go all over social media. So, and again, she's going to have, I think, Words of Silk playing in the background while that's going. So, I try and incorporate my music wherever possible,
Absolutely.
Just to get it out there. There might be someone that sees that and goes, oh my God, that song's awesome. Who is that? Oh, Band of Misfits,
Yeah.
So I try and cross-pollinate where I can.
Absolutely.
So,
good. And so you should.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Use it anything you put up that's got like some audio behind it. Yeah, absolutely. Like use your own songs of Band of Misfits.
Yeah, it's good.
Like the intro and the outro for my podcast is just the instrumental version of 2 of my songs.
Yeah.
Well, anything using background music is just like small snippets, because you might as well just plant that seed. If somebody are listening to it, they go, oh, hang on, I've heard that a couple of times. And, here's an actual song.
Yeah, that's right.
Or you can just write in the credits saying, oh, by the way, this is my song, here's a link, go and check it out, because subconsciously people are still listening to the stuff in the background.
That's right.
That's a great idea. Great idea. Right. And again, it brings more attention on your shop as well.
So
again, it's one of those things we can bring to two industries together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, quite easily.
Two very different stages.
Yeah, it's all creative, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where should people go if they want to stay on top of all your many pages?
Yeah. Okay. So no.
different pages or groups.
So what I'll do is with the podcast, we'll have its own page, Life Behind Lyrics, and I'll try and promote that wherever possible across Perth music pages. You know, friends and family, I will promote that across my business pages as well.
Yep.
Just to try and get it out there. And with my personal solo stuff, you can find all that on Kym Redmond Music on Instagram and on Facebook.
I'll drop all the links here anyway, so people can click on that.
Yeah, cool. And Band of Missfits with double S.
Yep.
On Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
As well, so...
A Band of double S, Miss.
Yeah, Misfits, double S, yep. Yeah, so...
and you're florist as well. You got
and I have a flower shop, which is Sense of Style Florist, spelt sense as in smell, scent.
Yep.
And then if they can't find me through, you know, if they can't remember what my shop name was, I've also got Glen Forest Florist, which is a tongue twister.
Glen Forest Florist.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. Had I known, like... I don't know.
Glen Forest Florist.
Had I known like 15 years ago that I would have a florist shop in Glen Forest, because I've had the name Sense of Style Florist for about 15 years with an ABN. I've had my shop for nearly 7 years in Glen Forest, but, you know, had I known, I would have just put florist in the forest, you know. I would have thought that was a cool name. So if they can't find me or can't remember Sense of Style, at least they can go, oh, hang on, she's in Glen Forest. Flower shop, Glen Forest. Yeah.
Glen Forest.
So it's just another way of being able to find me. So
you try and say that 10 times fast. That'd be tricky.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
That's good though. Florist. I love it. Fantastic, man.
Yeah, so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose all we have to do then is just wait for the Band of Missfits and your own single a bit later in the year and stay tuned on those pages.
That's right. And the podcast will be probably the next thing to come out. So hopefully I can get the first interview sorted in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed.
Well,
that's the plan.
We'll get it set up. Fantastic.
Yeah, so.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Kym.
Thanks for having me.